Lord, Ram, God Almighty, Allah, Khuda, Jesus, etc. All these are the names of the same power. How is He? Where is He? How can we attain Him? Who has seen Him? To remove these questions completely, please listen to the spiritual discourses of Universal Teacher, enlightened Tattvadarshi Saint Rampal Ji Maharaj, based on holy scriptures from all the holy religions. Kabir Sahib Kabir Dev Ji is the Eternal Father Almighty. He is the complete God and the Creator. Of all universes, He is the originator of all of us and is our Father. There are all these qualities in this God. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva. Tvameva Bandhu cha Sakha Tvameva. Tvameva Vidya cha Dravidam Tvameva. Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. He is the God of gods. He is that Almighty who is the God of all the gods. And He is the Supreme God. Now when a devout person listens to this for the first time, that Kabir Dev, Kabir Sahib is the complete God, Paramakshar Brahm, creator of all universes. So this statement feels like a quinine. It is difficult to swallow. Because till now, all we have heard was folklores. All we heard were stories. We could not get the knowledge of our holy scriptures because our spiritual teachers, the preachers of Hindu religion, our gurus, Mandaleshwars, all these teachers, they all lack true spiritual knowledge. All these sages lack true knowledge. They were not acquainted with spiritual knowledge. Because of this, we failed to identify God, and based upon the folklores, whichever deity was labeled as Supreme God, we believed it to be true. Because these preachers, gurus in Hinduism, they all were literate in Sanskrit language, and all our holy scriptures are written in the Sanskrit language only. Now later they were translated in Hindi or any other language. This is a later thing. Right from origin till now, that is from the beginning till now, all these scriptures were present in Sanskrit for that matter. The ones in Sanskrit are available. Translators have translated them in their languages. Now because of this, the people, the devout individuals trusted those very gurus, those preachers, those Mandaleshwars, believing that they have the knowledge of Sanskrit language, they can speak in Sanskrit. All our holy scriptures are written in Sanskrit language only, and because of this, we never really doubted those gurus. We never felt that they are uttering wrong information. This is because a student accepts whatever knowledge his or her teacher is imparting. Whatever the teacher is speaking about, the students do not raise objection, and they accept it. Once a teacher taught a history answer to his students. He taught them that pupil's father was educated too, but he was not working. He had his own business. That child's father noticed that the child had written a wrong answer to a question. So he informed his child that the answer you have written is wrong. So the child replied that no, father, my teacher has said that this answer is right. The father said, son, kindly correct it. The son replied that I will not correct it because my teacher has said this is right. My teacher has said this. My educator has said this. So, pious souls, today the same situation has arrived. All these preachers had knowledge of Sanskrit language, but they did not have any spiritual knowledge, because of which they failed to tell us about these deep secrets of our holy scriptures. And today, those very facts are present in our holy books, and this servant is enlightening the people about it. This servant is making it public with the help of these CDs, projectors, and by writing these books. Now those preachers, those gurus are facing problems that till now they were telling the folklore. They were telling these stories. What they used to say? Some used to say that Sri Vishnu Ji is complete God. Vishnu Ji is the supreme God and he manifests in three forms. In Brahma's form, he creates the universe. In Vishnu Ji's form, he nourishes. And in Shiv Ji's form, he destroys. Some used to say that Lord Shiv is Mahesh. He is Maheshwar, God of gods. He is the originator of all. And he is the one who controls the universe by taking three forms. He is the creator of entire universe. And he is the father. In Brahmaji's form, he creates. In Vishnu's form, he nourishes. And in Shivji's form, he destroys everyone. They do not have any parents. So these were folklores, these were fables. We used to believe them like Lord of all lords, pious souls. The way which we are to walk on. We begin our journey from we should have complete and thorough information about it, then only the movement will be beneficial to us. And if we want to go from Hisar to Delhi, but we have taken the route from Hisar to Sirsa, then our movement is futile, irrespective of the speed in which we are moving, at whatever speed the car is going. It is all futile. And because of some reason you are travelling from Hisar to Sirsa and you happen to meet someone on the way who asks you to where you are going towards, and you tell him that we are going to Delhi. If that individual tells you that this is not the way to Delhi, this route will not take you to Delhi, you are moving in opposite direction towards Punjab, then that gentleman should give it a thought as to why this individual is talking like this, because according to him he is going to Delhi. But this is his own thought that he is going to Delhi, but his way is wrong. His direction is wrong. So it becomes this gentleman's duty to verify, and to verify, the easiest way is to ask someone else. And if that person also tells the same thing, but it is difficult for you to believe, then look at the map and ask, where am I standing? The map will provide the answer that you have reached Sirsa and you are 10 miles from Sirsa. Then the map also tells the same thing as that good individual in front of you that your direction is wrong. Then what you should do? If the commuter is sensible, he will immediately take a U-turn. He will not see that I've already covered so much of route. Now what will happen to this travel that I undertook? He will immediately take a U-turn and he will correct his mistake. Similarly, devout souls are undertaking wrong practices of worship. They are on the wrong path. Those pious souls who have got wrong knowledge are going on the wrong path. This path will not lead to attainment of God. This servant is telling you that you are on the wrong path and take a U-turn. You gave some 50 to 60 kilometers far on the wrong route, and when you come to know that you have come on the wrong route, then it is your thoughtfulness to immediately return. And if you say that I have already covered so much of the route, it will go waste if I return. So this is not wisdom, it is foolishness. Similarly, if you are already worshipping a deity under a guru and some have given 5 years, some have given 10 years, 20 years, some have given 30 years, is simply futile. Today, if you come to know that you are on the wrong path, then what you should do? There is not much need to say in this. It is easy for a wise man to understand. You should immediately quit that path, should not think that I have given 20 years of my life to this worship, what about me? I have done obeisance for 30 years of this community, what about me? That has already happened, what happened to you? That has already been destroyed. You have already moved 100 kilometers away on the wrong path, now you only need to take U-turn. That is beneficial. This is only beneficial for you. Return immediately, leave that way. Now God says, भेड़ा देखा जर्जरा और उत्तर चले फड़क. In earlier times there used to be a beda, canoes used to ply, there were no boats to cross the river. At that time canoes were made. You may not remember those canoes, so think of it like a small boat. The boat in which you are sitting is getting filled with water. Its base pad is damaged and just next to it, a fine boat arrives. If you come to know that the boat in which we are sitting, we are going to drown as water is filling in it. So God says, भेड़ा देखा जर्जरा और उत्तर चले फड़क. डूबे थे पर उभरे. God Kabir wants to tell us that the ones who are wise, they will not do like this. They were drowning, but they will emerge with Guru's knowledge and they immediately get off the drowning boat. It is said, we were drowning, our souls would have drowned in 840 million life forms, but with true teachers' knowledge, we immediately became aware. Ekdam fadakna means terrified. Ekdam fadakke means spontaneously hop off. Just immediately hop off. That means there is not even a second's time to think over. If you are drowning and along with it there is another one, it is a good place to immediately hop off. That is said, डूबे थे पार उभरे, गुरु के ज्ञान चमक. It is said, एकदम चमक के पड़े हैं भाई, becomes immediately attentive and और भेड़ा देखा जर्जरा. Jarjara means about to break. drown, so uttar chale fadak. So those pious souls should not make any delays in changing their guru. However far he must have gone on that way, he should immediately give it up. He is completely on the wrong path. You have gone 200 kilometers. You will have to return. Any steps you take further, they will all be wrong. You will go ahead in wrong direction. So like some say that Sri Brahmaji is the creator, some say Sri Vishnuji is Satgunji is creator, some say Tamogun Shivji is the creator, and some say that Sri Brahma Rajogun is the creator of all universes, pious souls. So this is folklore. And some who worship Durga say that Durga is the creator of everyone. The ones who worship Sri Devi Ji believe her to be the supreme. And the ones who worship Brahm, they believe him to be supreme. So pious souls, first we will have to see this map. We will again look at the map in the form of our holy books, and we will see what guidance we get from them. Then we will get the satisfaction. Until now, we are listening to different things about gods from people. Some great sage has given some form of knowledge. And we are students, we are devout. Whatever knowledge, whichever saint gives us about the God, we believe it without any doubts, without any objection. We accept it. So, pious souls, we need to first have the knowledge about who is God. We should have this information with us. And then we will succeed on the path towards God. Then no one will be able to confuse us. It is said in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 16, verse number 23, those who reject the injunctions of holy scriptures and follow the way of worship according to their willfulness, that is, oppose the teachings of holy scriptures, undertake obeisance of their wish, which is not present in holy books, that obeisance is futile. They neither move to higher realms, nor do they get any happiness or any powers. That is, it is useless. Then immediately in the 24th verse of 16th chapter of Gita Ji, it is said that for you, Arjun, determining what is to be done and what is forbidden. Kartavya means the obeisance that we were to do and what we want to do. The ones we should give up and the ones we should accept are based on the evidences from holy books. Do not trust the folklores. Then it is said in Gita Ji chapter 2 verse 53, O Arjun, when your mind will deviate from various types of knowledges that confuses you and will stabilize on just one spiritual knowledge, on that supreme God, then you will receive devotion. And then you will become a devotee. At that time, your obeisance will begin when you will stick on the one true knowledge, when your mind will focus on knowledge in accordance to our holy books. You will not quiver and you will move forward on right path. Whatever steps you put on this path, it will be favorable for you. It will be beneficial for you. Now there is a lot of confusion about the creation of nature. Like for instance, people following Jainism, devotees, preachers, they say, there is no creator of this nature and there is no destroyer too. It is eternal. It gets created on its own and gets destroyed on its own. It is not like this. There are many other devotees. Some say Vishnuji is the creator. Like I already told before, today I will tell you about this in special details. Now, as the scenario of God Kabir Dev Ji was going on, that he is complete Almighty, he is complete Brahm, complete God, you will not be able to believe this until you become aware of his qualities. And where are these qualities? These are written in life history, their autobiography. For instance, the details about Sri Vishnu Ji, Shiv Ji, Brahma Ji can be found in their life history. It is written in their histories, Puranas. Similarly, God Kabir Ji's glory is written in Sukshma Ved, in Sukshma Ved. This servant had read in the history of Adi Shankaracharya Ji that too he has supported the existence of it. Adi Shankaracharya Ji had said that 4 Vedas, Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Athar Ved, Sam Ved, are available here, and the 5th one is Sukshma Ved. Now the reason for this was that the 5th Ved, Sukshma Ved, on Mount Kailash was destroyed by Kal. God himself descends from Satlok to provide that Sukshma Ved. He descends here from eternal place. He comes to give us the knowledge that was destroyed by Satan. All that hidden knowledge that was destroyed by Kal, by this Brahm, he has kept it hidden. He doesn't get it exposed to anyone. So to tell about that, 5th Ved, God comes here. It is written in that 5th Ved that information from that Ved, that knowledge was spoken by God from his holy mouth about 600 years ago. That is why it is said in Gita Ji chapter 4 verse 32 that Arjun, in Gita Ji chapter 4 from verse number 25 to 31, it is said, some worship God, some do self-study of scripture, some perform fasting in non-violence. Some think that they are successful just by doing pranayam. The detailed information about all this knowledge, about these religious rituals, is given in Gita Ji chapter 4 verse 32, that it is in the voice of Sachidanand Ghan Brahm, the complete God. Here in Gita Ji chapter 4 verse number 32, due to lack of spiritual knowledge, these translators have misinterpreted this verse. It is written as Brahmane Mukhe. In the original script, translators have translated Brahmane Mukhe as in the voice of Vedas. This is wrongly written. It is wrong translation. Brahmane Mukhe means in the voice of Sachidanand Ghan Brahm, which God speaks from his own mouth. A fairly detailed account of it is given in the words spoken by God himself, and that is Kabir Vani. They have translated Brahmane wrongly here. They wrote Veda, and in Gita Ji chapter 17 verse 23, Om Tat Sat Iti Nirdeshah Brahmane Trividah Smritah. They have translated Brahmane correctly because they did not get distracted. They have written the meaning of Brahmane as Sachidanand Ghan Brahm. So here in the verse 32 of chapter 4, we will have to write the meaning of word Brahmane as Sachidanand Ghan Brahm in given details. Then in chapter 4 verse 34 it is said that true spiritual knowledge is written in the 5th Veda, the Sukshma Ved. And to understand that true spiritual knowledge, take the refuge of an enlightened saint, prostrating before them and asking them questions without any deception. That enlightened saint will give you the true spiritual knowledge. This also proves the fact that the giver of knowledge of Gita is not aware about the 5th Veda. Therefore, he has left this option that to understand this true spiritual knowledge, you will have to take refuge of an enlightened saint. So God Kabir Dev Ji himself descends to play the role of an enlightened saint. So 600 years ago, because God Kabir Ji had descended on earth, in the form of a human baby, and he had appeared on a lotus flower in a pond named Lehertara in Kashi city, now Varanasi, in 1398 AD, that is 1455, in the month of June of Vikram Samvat Hindu calendar. And he grew up performing marvels. He was taken by a weaver couple named Niru Nima, and being in that occupation, he was called a Julaha or a Dhanak. He has told and written in that Sukshma Ved 600 years ago. This servant wants to bring that knowledge to you in my own words. God has said that earlier only Poorn Paramatma Kabir Dev Ji was existing. He was living in Anamayalok and was living alone. After that, God created 3 other worlds. The world below, Akahalok, call it Anamayalok or Anamilok. Agam world is beneath Akaha world. The next one down is Alakh world, and beneath it at the 3rd level is Satlok, which is also called eternal place, and God is present in Satlok by the name of Satyapurush, true God. The same God has made 3 other forms. So in this way, God lives in each of the world with a different name in different conditions. Now he started the creation in Satlok. Now, pious souls, just like in this world, there is life on this earth only, and the rest of the planets like Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, all these planets are just empty. Similarly, in Satlok, God, Satpurush Kabir Dev Ji, who is also called Paramaksha Brahm, started the creation process. Just by one word, he created 16 islands. 16 islands. And then with one word, he created one sun and instructed each son to live on one island each. From these 16 sons, one of the sons, who is Achint, was instructed after some time to carry on the process of creation. God wanted to show all the sons that without the help of the powerful, despite all the efforts, success cannot be achieved. It is said the work suits in the hands of the one who is skilled to do it. Achint created one more man through his word and named him as Akshar Purush. Now, Achint believed the son he created through his word power as immortal man. He named him Akshar Purush and asked him to help him, that is Achint, in the process of creation. There, when God created those islands, in each island he also created a Mansarovar pond. He also created a separate Mansarovar common to all islands, so that Akshar Purush went to Mansarovar and started bathing. While bathing, he went deep inside and fell asleep there in the water. Now, pious souls, there is no breathable body in Satlok. He did not come out for a long time. Then God Kabir Dev Ji took some water from that pond in his hands and made an egg out of it like a magician. He entered a soul in that egg and left that egg in Mansarovar. It went guzzling down, and disturbed the sleep of Akshar Purush, because of which he got a little angry. In that anger, he looked at the egg as to who disturbed him, and because of that anger, the egg broke into two pieces. From that, this Brahm came out. Now, in the future, in this history, in this story, in this eternal story, or in the Satyanarayan story that this servant is narrating till now, we used to believe Vishnu Ji is the Satyanarayan. Satyanarayan story is not true. Now, this is the Satyanarayan story. Satyanarayan means eternal story of eternal God. So, Brahma came out of that. Later, you will become aware of the three lords who are different from Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. First is Kshar Brahm. He is also called Kshar Brahm, Kshar Brahm. And the second is Akshar Purush, that is Akshar Brahm. This Akshar Purush or Akshar Brahm and Kshar Brahm came out of the egg. Kshar Brahm is destructible because Akshar Purush was whimsically named so by Achint that he had created the Akshar Purush. Now, as one becomes a master, then that Purush is God. Purush means God. So either say Akshar Purush or Akshar Brahm, both are his synonyms. Similarly, say Kshar Purush, this Brahm who came out of an egg, he is Kshar Purush. You can tell him Akshar Brahm, it is his synonym name. He is also Jyoti Sarup Niranjan. Kal is this Brahm. Later he will be called as Kal also. Now remember this, pious souls, because until you are aware about the creation, you will not understand any of the holy book. Then God instructed both to come out. Akshar Purush, you were sleeping. Akshar Purush, you were sleeping, and this entire process was undertaken to wake you up. Both came out. Then God said, Achint, now you have witnessed that without the Almighty no work can be successful. Now you were incapable of bringing him out, and henceforth do not barge in my work. This is why I have made you aware about your capabilities. So Achintha accepted his failure and said that they cannot achieve anything. Now God instructed both, whom Kshar Purush, meaning Kshar Brahm, who will later be proved in this story as father of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Kshar Purush and Akshar Purush were both instructed to live on Achint's island. They both obeyed the order. Who three? Achint, Akshar Purush and Kshar Purush, who's also called Kshar Brahm, or in simple language, he is also addressed as Brahm. I will define it ahead why he is called Brahm. Now all the three started living on the same island, remaining 15 sons, who were created by one word of the God, were living individually in their own islands there. After some time, God created all of us, all the souls in this universe from His body through His word, and there we were present in a body made up of light. Our body is effulgent, made up of one element, that is light. In its veins, it's Shukram Akyam Asanaviram. Like our bodies is not made by semen, the one which is made by sexual intercourse of father and mother, in that there is no system of veins or blood vessels, it does not have vascular system. Similarly, God's body is like this. It is in the form, appears like humans, effulgent, but there is a difference in the radiance in our body and the God's body. There is difference in powers and in its brightness, its effulgence. The effulgence from one hair follicle of complete God Kabir Dev Ji in Satlok is more than the brightness of a total of 10 million suns and 10 million moons. And how is our body there? The remaining ones who are still living there, how is their body? And when God created us from His word, how was our body at that time? It was like human in appearance and had effulgence equivalent to 16 suns. Our body had effulgence equal to 16 suns, just like the sun here, but without the heat. We all started living there, and there was no difficulty there. There was no shortage or scarcity. There was no old age and death. There was no birth and death. And no one gets old there. Now, pious souls, give it a thought. We are so sorrowful here, but still we think we do not want to die when we know that we will die. It is a rule here, yet we do not wish to die. What is the reason for this? We lived at a place where there was no death, because of which we do not like to die, and it is perfectly correct. Why were we born, and then why do we die? We spend a good 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years to build a home, and then we don't get to live in it. The Lord here kills you within a minute. So there was no old age and death. No one likes to get old. Everyone thinks that I should look young. And these ministers get a surgery done, put makeup, but till when will you do this? It will get fused in 10 years. So the point of saying this is, it is in our nature that we look youthful. But here everything is artificial. And there was the original. And we used to live there like that. After a few days, their days are not there. We use days just for reference. There is no day or night there. That world is effulgent. People are effulgent and God is effulgent. Sun does not rise or set there. So after some time, this Jyoti Niranjan, who is called Kshar Purush, also called Kshar Brahm, in Gita Ji, who identifies himself as devil, he is Brahm, who talks after possessing Sri Krishna Ji. I will tell the history and will give you the full detail. Listen to this story with patience, because the first time listeners might find it weird. But after some time, when you will see the evidence, you will have to accept it, and you will accept it. After some time, a nonsensical weed generated in the mind of this Kshar Purush, the devil, he thought to himself that we three are living on one island and rest of our brothers are living on their individual islands. So here we came to know about this law that one gets rule with penance. So he performed penance by standing on one foot for 70 eras of earth. Then the complete God Satpurush Kabir Dev Ji asked him that, son, why are you doing this penance? What do you want? Then he said that, God, this island is small for me. It is less. We three are living on one island. Rest of my brothers are living on their individual islands. I want a separate place. So God said, all right, dear, I grant you 21 universes. Just like a wealthy father gives 21 land plots to his son, saying that, son, these 21 land plots belong to you. Now after getting those plots, those 21 universes, this Kshar Brahm, in saint language we call him Chhar Brahm, Chhar Achhar. Akshar Brahm is this Parabrahm who was created by a Chin's word, and Kshar Brahm was originated by the word of God through an egg. He is the Kshar Brahm who sometimes went through there, went in one and then another, seeing everywhere. He thought that there should be some construction in these universes. With this motive, he again undertook penance for 70 eras. Then God asked, "What do you want now? I have already given you the plots, the 21 universes." Then he asked for some material to do construction so that I can do some creation in these. Like now he had the plots, but still he had nothing. Son asks his dad to give him some money to get bricks, cement, to make material available. Then Kabir Dev Ji gave 5 elements and 3 qualities to this Kshar Purush, Kshar Brahm in a way that, take son, make your toys and play with them. He was very happy after obtaining them. Then he thought that even if I undertake some construction here, but I will still feel lonely. He thought, let me ask for some souls from God. This Kshar Brahm, this Kal God, again started penance by standing on one foot. On the other hand, how did we get trapped by him? This is a topic to be thought about by souls, a topic to ponder upon as to how we got trapped. Then he did it this way and acquired it separately. How did we get stuck with him? We are stuck with him. We are stuck with him. We came here with this Brahm, Kshar Brahm, because of which we all are suffering. We abandoned our father where there was no suffering, there was no birth or death. How did we get stuck with him? We all were watching him do penance by standing on one foot only. We all got attracted to him. We got so attracted to him that look, he's standing on one foot since so many days. At times he stands on this foot, then he changes to another foot and he's standing like this. So we got mesmerized with his style and we completely ignored our father who was giving us all the happiness, who was making all the facilities available to us. We got away from him and got attracted to him. So, pious souls, you and I got infected with this disease, with this behavior from there. Just like hero and heroines, actors and actresses here perform acting, they dance, they show styles, they do stunts for food, and these young kids, they get so attracted to them. Don't ask. If any hero and heroines, actor and actresses come here in Barwala or come here in Hisar, then see how these college-going kids, young children gather in crowds and they stand at least 200, 300, 400 feet away from them and they will say, see, he's standing there, or he is that actor. There he is, standing. She's that actress, there she's standing. Now he is doing this work for his stomach, and children just uselessly go to see them without any specific purpose. Now what will that actor give to these children? And in the evening they return home hungry. Similarly, we got attracted to this Kal and our hearts moved away from God. God many times made announcements through ether voice to not pay attention to the drama of this Jyot Niranjan. Do not get influenced by his actions. You remain focused on God. We faked that we are alert, that we did not like him, but from deep within the attraction did not fade away. God is omniscient. So at that time, Even after repeated instructions from God, we could not keep devil away from our hearts. We failed to move our soul away from him, and we loved him from within. Now, when he started doing penance for the third time, he wanted to get some souls from God. Then, when God asked him when he did penance for 64 eras, for the third time, then God asked, Jyoti Niranjan, I have given you everything you had asked for. Now, why are you behaving like a stubborn? Then he said, this Jyoti Niranjan, this Kshar Purush replied, God, I want some souls. I cannot live there alone. How will I stay alone in 21 universes? Then God said, in return of your penance, which you have done for 64 eras, I can give you a large kingdom. Because these souls belong only to me. They were created by my word. They are a part of me. How can I give you a part of me? But God gave one option. The option was, if someone wants to go with you willingly, then they can go with you. But I will not push them in the well. When this Jyoti Niranjan came to us, this Kshar Purush, this Char Purush came to us, all the souls that are in his universe, we got trapped here and are suffering. All these souls encircled him and gathered around him, just like when a hero comes or an actor comes. He told us that he has obtained big universes from Father in return of his penance for 70 eras. I will make heaven and great heaven there. I will make mountains of diamonds, emeralds, and rubies. I will make rivers filled with milk. So, will you all come with me? Now, we liked him from before. We were in love with him. Even if he did not make anything, we were all attracted to him. So, we all said we are ready to go with you. If God gives us the permission, then we can come with you. This Kshar Brahm came and requested God, Kabir Ji, complete God, Paramakshar Brahma. He returned to God and said with his hands joined that God, some souls are ready to go with me. Then God, Kabir Ji said, ask them to agree in front of me, then I shall believe you and I will send them. Now God Kabir Dev Ji came to us and Jyoti Niranjan came along too. God Kabir Dev Ji, Paramakshar Brahma, asked the souls who are willing to go with Jyoti Niranjan, Kshar Purush, to raise their hands as acceptance. Now no one had the courage to show the obstinacy and everyone bowed their necks. Then God said that, Jyoti Niranjan, Kshar Purush, you were saying that few souls have agreed to go with you, but here no one is speaking, there is utter silence. Then one soul got up first, thinking that we might not get left back. Then he got up and said, Father. He raised his hand and said, Father, I want to go. Then we all thought that we may not get left behind. Even we too, every one of us raised our hands like this. How many trillions or countless who have come here? So many souls came here, we cannot even count. But God has the entire counting and all their details as well. But we cannot do it since we are souls. All the beings in these 21 universes have come from Satlok, be it an ant, be it an elephant, beggar or a king, in whichever animal of bird's life form one is bearing. Then God said, okay, Jyoti Niranjan, all those who are willing to go with you with all their heart, they are willing to go with you. I have noted all their numbers and I have them. You return to your world because these worlds were there earlier at the rare end of Satlok, at completely deserted place in Satlok, and we were living in that main Satlok. For instance, one is the outer village in Delhi region and another in Delhi state, a place where all the major places of happenings are at the center. We were living there, and these devils were at the outskirts. Suppose these 21 universes were like outer Delhi. This Niranjan went to his universes, this Ksharpurush. He is also called Jyoti Niranjan, and he is also called devil or Satan. In the future, he will be called by many other names, in this story only. On the other hand, what did God do? The soul which had given its acceptance to go with this Ksharpurush at the first, God gave it a form of a young woman. But he did not give her reproduction organs, and all those souls who had given the willingness to go with him were converted in the form of a seed by his word power and were entered in the body of the Durga. For instance, in today's world, this process is very easy to understand. What do these doctors say? They tell us that in 1 gram of blood, there are approximately 0.8 million, 0.5 million of microorganisms of just one type and many other types, and when this blood is transfused to another, they multiply further. There are many microorganisms which can be transferred to another. So think of this process like this. This young girl that God made, he named her Prakriti Devi. She is also called Maya, Adi Maya. Call her Prakriti Devi or Adi Maya. She only was called Astangi later. Now call her Sri Durga. So God entered all the souls in Sri Durga's body. So God said, "Daughter, I have blessed you." God said, "Daughter, I have blessed you. And I have entered all these souls in your body. You can now go to Jyoti Niranjan, and how many creature he asks for, create them by your word power, by saying males and females. They will be created as required." And God asked his son Sahaj Das, who was amongst the 16 sons created first, he asked Sahaj Das to take his sister along and please leave your sister with Jyoti Niranjan, with Ksharpurush. He is also called Ksharpurush and Jyoti Niranjan. Later in Gita, the one who says, "I am Kal," he is that Kal. Leave her there and convey him, Ksharpurush, a message on my behalf that all the souls have been entered in her body and she has also been blessed, given his power. She has been made benevolent in such a way that she can bring out as many souls as you want. This girl, Prakriti Devi, will create in form of males and females. Sahaj Das, obeying the instructions from God as greatly honorable, took Sri Durga along with him to Jyoti Niranjan, that is, he went to the island of Ksharpurush in those 21 universes and said that this is the sister and God has entered all the souls in her body. Now, Sahaj Das told Ksharpurush that Father has sent this sister, Durga, and all the souls have been entered in this Sri Devi's body, and God Kabir Dev Ji has blessed her that she will create as many creatures as you want with her word power. By informing this, Sahaj Das left that girl there and came back. Now, after Sahaj Das left, only Prakriti Devi and this Jyoti Niranjan, that is Ksharpurush, remained there. Now, since the girl was young, she looked very beautiful. Now, Jyoti Niranjan, this Ksharpurush's mind got corrupted. Finding the girl alone, he tried to misbehave with that girl, with Durga, with Sri Devi. So Prakriti Devi said repeatedly that, Jyoti Niranjan, don't do this. I am your sister. You are my brother. You were created by God Kabir Dev Ji, Satyapurush, through an egg, and post that even we were created by that same God. You are my elder brother and I am your younger sister. She requested a lot that, please don't oppress me, but this Ksharpurush was so sexually aroused. He was so influenced by Rajogun that he neither listened to a single thing nor did he maintain any respect. And he tried to rape that girl, and he had kept his mouth open in a vulgar manner. Durga made a miniature form and took refuge in his stomach. Through his mouth, he would not have allowed her to go anywhere else. So, to protect her dignity, her chastity, she took refuge in his stomach. From there, she called, O God, please help me, save me, my father. God knew that this was bound to happen to us, because even after repeated warnings from Eternal Father, we failed to move away from Him. God Himself appeared there in form of His son Jogjit and removed that girl, Durga, from his stomach, took her out from his body, and said that, Jyoti Niranjan, listen to the order of Eternal Father. You have done this crime in this eternal world. You are the first one who has been unprincipled. Today you had a bad intention on this girl and you simply consumed her up in your stomach. And your deeds are like an indecent person. And hence, from today onwards, your name will be Kal. You will be known as Kal, and you will consume subtle bodies of 100,000 human beings, and you will give birth to 125,000, and you will give birth to 25% extra. And from today, you have been expelled from here by Eternal Father. Both of you, along with your 21 universes, get out of Satlok. The moment this was said, these 21 universes started moving from there just like an aeroplane moves in speed. And he said to this Prakriti Devi, to Durga, the god's daughter, that you have dug your own grave. You are going with him willingly, and you have fallen in the eyes of Father, because God Himself was standing there in another form. Now you cannot stay here. 21 universes started moving from there, and from the outer boundary of Satlok, approximately 16 Shankh Kos. Like, for instance, 1 Neel, 1 Padam, 1 Shankh, 10 Shankh. Likewise, 16 Shankh Kos, 1 kilometer is approximately 3 kilometers. So assume that these 21 universes came 48 Shankh kilometers away. Jyoti Niranjan thought whatever was bound to happen to me has already happened. And now I am full-fledged authority. Here I am independent. Now I shall do everything as per my wish. He again started misbehaving with that Durga, Sri Devi. Durga again said that Jyoti Niranjan, that is Ksharpurush, open your eyes. See, God has given me word power. With his power, how many creatures you want I will create for your world. You do not begin this process of creation through mating. But he did not listen. Durga requested again that, see, first you are my older brother and I'm your younger sister. Then I was removed out of your stomach, so I also become your daughter. At least maintain the respect of anyone. But at that time, Jyot Niranjan, this Ksharpurush, did not pay heed to any of the request. At that time, God did not give any reproductive organs to this girl. Then this Kal, this Jyoti Niranjan, acquired these powers due to penance he did. With his prowess, he created sexual organs in Durga's body, got married to her forcibly, and then these three sons were born. Brahma ji with Rajogun, Vishnu ji with Satogun, and Shiv ji with Tamogun. All three were born with one gun each. How were they attached with each quality? This Kal has made a secret place on the zenith of a universe. No one goes to that secret place other than Durga and Kal. So there he has made three different sections. So in that secret place, three sections are made. One section is Rajogun dominant, one section is Satogun dominant, and one section is Tamogun dominant. For instance, there are 3 rooms in a house. In one room, there are vulgar posters. In the other room, there are posters of sages and great men. Third, there are posters of warriors and martyrs. When a person enters in a room with vulgar posters, his nature will be the same. It is but natural. And when he enters the other room with posters of sages, then immediately his thoughts will become very polite and his notions will change. Similarly, when he enters the room with posters of warriors, martyrs, then automatically his morale and his nature will become like that. So in the same manner, these 3 sons, Rajgun Brahma was created. He kept Durga as his wife. He kept this Sri Devi as his wife. When they start living in the section dominant with Rajogun, at that time this Ksharpurush, Jyoti Niranjan, made his 5 faces and started living there. After their sexual intercourse, the son that is born has 5 heads, and till the time they were in the section dominant with Rajogun, their nature remained like that, because of which all those qualities entered Brahmaji, and they kept Brahmaji in coma right from childhood. They kept nurturing him. Like it is seen, someone was saying that a person's son was in coma for 10 years. Food was fed to him with the help of a pipe. Similarly, they keep them in a coma. Once they become young, they are brought back to consciousness. Now the second region, which is Satogun dominant, in that Kal, this Ksharpurush takes the form of Vishnu and keeps his wife Durga in the form of Mahalakshmi. From their mating, the son that is born, he becomes Satogun dominant, and even he is kept in coma. Even Vishnu is kept in a coma. Upon attaining youth, even he is brought back to consciousness. Then they go in the third Tamogun dominant section, who? This Ksharpurush and Durga. Now he makes Sri Devi in the form of Parvati, and he himself manifests in the form of Shiva, exactly like the form of Shivaji. You see, he takes the form of Shiva. They both live in that Tamogun dominant section. The son that is born due to their union is automatically Tamogun dominant, and he is kept in coma until he grows up. He too is brought back to consciousness once he attains youth. Upon attaining youth, all three are brought together. When these three sons become old enough to handle work, what this devil says, when these sons become able to handle the creation, then this Kal, Kshar Brahm, this Kshar Purush, said to his wife Durga that from now onwards, I will not come in front of anyone in my true form. This is my vow. And you go down in the 21 universes and handle the creation. Now Durga said, Jyoti Niranjan, I am under your control and I have dug my own grave. Now I will have to act as you please. Tell me one thing, I am a woman. How am I supposed to handle this huge universe all alone? If you will live with me, I will get help. Then he said, I will remain hidden with the help of my mystical powers. I will not appear before anyone, but I will keep helping you every second and you will just be for the name's sake. Whatever is to be done, I will do on my own. My deeds will be mystical. Having said this, he sent Durga to these three sons. Durga brought them back to consciousness and gathered all of them through at one place. Through an eternal voice, then she said, all three of you do your individual task. Brahma will create, Vishnu will nurture, and Shiva will destroy. Then they said, Mother, there is no place anywhere. There is water everywhere. Where will we be living? They were being kept in the ocean of milk. Then Durga asked all the three of them to sit in an aeroplane and showed them many things. She showed them the realms above. Then there are three regions being made. One is Shivpuri, one is Vishnupuri, and one is Brahmapuri. It can be called Shivlok or Shivpuri, Brahmalok or Brahmapuri, and Vishnulok or Vishnupuri. All three were sent to one region each. Each one of them got an individual region to themselves. Then it was told to all three of them to go and churn the cosmic ocean. Instructions are given to Durga by this Brahma, Ksharpurush, Kshar Brahm, and Durga in turn instructs these children to go and perform the churning of cosmic ocean. And Kal had made arrangements. What Kal did during first churning of cosmic sea, this Kal hid the four Vedas in the cosmic sea through his breath. All the four Vedas came out well written due to churning of cosmic ocean. Like the form of milk is different when it is kept to curdle, and when this curd is blended, the form of butter is again different and it cannot be mixed with the buttermilk again. So in the same manner, all the four Vedas came out written placed on beautiful lotus flowers. Brahma picked all four of them. Now they brought the Vedas. So Durga made the ether announcement as Kal had already informed, that ask Brahma to read all the four Vedas and I through insight will give him some of its meaning. Prior to reading the Vedas, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiv used to ask Durga regarding their father, that who is their father. But Kal had already informed Durga to not reveal his identity. He told her if she reveals his identity, then she will suffer. Now due to the fear of Kal, Jyoti Niranjan, Ksharpurush, Durga kept everything a secret. She informed her sons that they do not have a father. I am your father and your mother, and I am the creator of this creation. So the children believed their mother. When Brahmaji read the Vedas, he found out that someone else is the creator of this universe. and he is Paramakshar Brahm. Brahma asked his mother as to how did they get those Vedas. Durga said that God has given these. These are God given. Okay. Then Brahma asks that in Vedas it is mentioned that God is in form. He appears like a human in a bodily form. And you are saying that we don't have a father. It is written in the Vedas that he has created everyone. He is the creator. He is the true supreme God. Now, Vedas cannot give false information because you said they are God given. Now Durga got stuck. Now, pious souls, how much ever lies you say, truth always comes up. It is said, चोर चुरावे तूंबड़ी और गाड्डे पानी में, वो गाड्डे वो ऊपर आवे, सच्चाई छानी ने. Then Durga said, son, listen to me. He is formless and no one can see him. Why are you wasting your effort? He is formless. Now, Brahma said, Mother, earlier I used to blindly trust everything you said. But now I have my doubts on what you are saying. Today your talks are sounding different. I will not agree to you. I want to attain God because this soul is feeling the absence of God right from the time it was separated from Him. And it is searching for Him ever since. We came here and where we must adopt the way to find Him, we cannot get that way here. Because in all four Vedas, the way that is mentioned can only lead to attainment of Brahma, this Kshar Purush. The way to attain that Paramakshar Brahma is left as an option here in Yajurved chapter number 40, verses 10 to 13. It is clarified that this Brahman knowledge giver of Vedas is saying to ask an enlightened saint about Supreme God. These Vedas also state the same thing. Gita Ji is the summary of Vedas. It is also said in Gita Ji chapter 4 verse 34 that this Kshar Purush enters the body of Sri Krishna and he also tells that to know about the Supreme God, you will have to go and ask an enlightened saint and they will let you know about it. So the evidence that is written in Vedas, so Brahma thought that in Vedas the mantra Om is mentioned and I will chant this Om mantra. And how did he begin with forceful yoga? Now it is not mentioned in Vedas to undertake Hatha Yoga. For instance, these sages undertake penance. It is not mentioned anywhere. But where did they acquire the knowledge of doing penance? Where did Brahma learn this practice of doing penance? When Brahma Ji was created, he found himself seated on a lotus emerging from the navel of Sri Vishnu Ji. For a long period of time, he kept moving up and down, holding its stem, but he failed to find its origin. And at the end, and then he returned and sat on the lotus flower. Then this Kshar Purush, Jyoti Niranjan, made an ether announcement, do penance, perform penance. Now Brahma started doing penance, assuming that the ether announcement was made by God. When he did penance for 1,000 years, again an ether announcement was made that begin creation. Now his battery was charged due to penance. So Brahma Ji thought that whatever is written in Veda is God's knowledge and whatever I heard is also God's voice. Now the knowledge which is given in Vedas is also given by God. God had given 5 Vedas to this Kshar Purush by feeding them into his consciousness. Now like it was fed in someone's consciousness and God allocated a specific time for it to come out. They were supposed to come out, so all 5 of them came out, but when he read, he realized that 5th Ved had a lot of information about the Eternal Father, True Almighty Paramakshar Brahm. He destroyed it and gave 4 Vedas only. Now when Brahma Ji read all the 4 Vedas, he said that, Mother, it has Om Mantra mentioned in it and I will attain God. Then Durga asked him, if you did not find your father, where are you going? What will you do if you do not find your father? Because he has taken a vow, he will never appear in front of you. Brahmaji replied that if I do not attain God, I will not show you my face, because it is written in Vedas. Yajurved chapter 40 verse 15 clearly states that Om Kartyu Samar Kilve Samar Krityum Samar. That is why this Om mantra belongs to Kshar Purush. It is up till Brahm, till Kshar Brahm. There is no information in Vedas regarding the way of worship to follow to attain Paramakshar Brahm, but a lot of his Glory is written in them, so the readers of these Vedas have rightly taken the glory of true God, but the way of worship they follow belongs to Brahma. There is more information about Paramakshar Brahma, also called True Almighty, but the way of worship to attain Him is not there. The way of worship to only attain Brahma is available, and that is the Om Mantra. In Gita Ji chapter 17, verse 23, there is a provision of 3 gods and chanting of 3 mantras. Om Tat Sat Iti Nirdeshah Brahmane Trividah Smritah. And in Gita Ji's chapter 15, verse 1 to 4, 16 to 17, it is given in full details as to who is the trunk, who is the root, who are the branches, who are the bushes, who are the leaves of this inversely hanging world tree. The sage who knows these is an enlightened one. And in chapter 15, verse 16 and 17 in Gita Ji, it is mentioned Kshar Purush, Akshar Purush, and Paramakshar Brahm and Uttam Purush to Anya, that true God is Paramakshar Brahm. Then Gita Ji chapter 8, verse 1, Arjun questioned, who is that Tat Brahma you mentioned about in Gita Ji chapter 7, verse 29. The knowledge giver of Gita has given the answer to this in chapter 8, verse 3, that he is that Supreme Almighty, creator of everyone. He nurtures everyone by entering in all the 3 worlds. It is clarified in chapter 15, verse 17. That he is complete God and he too does not have any information about him. That information can be obtained from an enlightened saint. The servant will give that information. God has sent me. With this purpose only, Brahmaji couldn't get this information. He chanted Om Mantra for 4 eras and performed penance. Then Durga created a girl with her word power and told her to wake up Brahmaji from his penance and tell him that Mother wants to see you. The process of creation is stalled in your absence. Now, after 4 eras had passed, Kshar Purush made an ether announcement to Durga that Durga start with the process of creation. Durga Prakriti Devi replied that your eldest son has gone to find you. I tried to stop him, yet he went. Then that Kshar Purush informed her through ether announcement that call him. I will never appear in front of him. Then that girl was sent there. The girl went there and called out that Brahma is not waking up. At that time, she connected with Durga through telepathy. She made a phone call to her with the help of consciousness that Mother, he's not waking up. Now what should I do? I have already called him many times. Durga asked her to touch his feet. The moment she touched his feet, Brahma opened his eyes. His meditation got hindered. He saw a young girl standing in front of him. Brahmaji angrily asked her as to who she was. He said, I will curse you. You have come here to spoil my penance. Then the girl said that Mother has sent me and the process of creation is stalled in your absence. Mother is very worried. Please come along. Then Brahma asked, how can I come along? I failed to meet Father. I had vowed in front of Mother that if I fail to attain God, then I will never show my face to her, would never meet her and will never return. How can I return when I did not meet God? Then Brahma said, you do one thing, give a false witness for me. Then I will come with you. The girl thought that if Mother's work is not done, then she will get angry. And if I lie, and if he says that I lied on my own, then I will be in deep trouble and I will be guilty even more. Then she kept a condition that you will have to make me happy and only then I will give your false witness. You do like this with me. Brahma thought that I did not attain God and I cannot return home like this. He accepted the girl's offer. The girl then created another girl with her word power and said it is always better to have 2 witnesses instead of 1. The first girl asked the second one that even you testify that Brahmaji did meet God and It happened in front of us. Second girl too kept the same condition with the motive that I should not be treated as a liar, and they saved themselves. That girl also kept the same condition for Brahmaji, and Brahmaji accepted it. Now all three of them came to Mother, to Durga. Now Durga asked, Prakriti Devi asked, Brahma, did you see your father? Now, as pre-decided, Brahma replied, yes, I did see my father. Then Durga asked, how can I believe you? Because for Durga, it was final that he said that I will never appear in front of anyone, and it is my final order. It is my final order. Now Durga had full faith that this is not possible. Then she said, do you have evidence? Give me evidence. Brahmaji said that both these girls are my witnesses. Now Durga questioned both the girls that, tell me if he really attained God in front of you, and both the girls lied and said that yes, God appeared in front of us, a human, because it is written in the Vedas, in Yajurved in chapter number 5 verse number 1, and in chapter 5 verse number 1. In verse number 8 it has been mentioned thrice about God. In Yajurved chapter 5 verse 1 it is mentioned twice that Agne Tanvasi, Vishnave Tava Somasya Tanvasi. God is in form. That God, in order to nurture everyone, that eternal Father has a body. And in Rigved Mandal number 1, Sukh 13, verse 18, it has been clarified that Narvat Agne Aha Manushyavat, that God is like human beings. So Brahmaji knew from Vedas that God looks like a human. On the other hand, he had explained them that you say that God appears like human. Now when everyone gave their witness to Durga, then Durga became confused that he told me that I will not appear in front of anyone, and he appeared in front of these children. Now on the inside, Durga felt hurt, and she sat far away and said that you lie a lot. She made an internal connection, and those who have spiritual powers can talk like this. One can even talk with someone who is sitting in a different country. Durga said, you are a liar, you lie, and from now on you only handle your own work. You tell something else to me and yet something else to children. Then that Kal, that Shar Brahm, made an ether announcement saying, all these three are lying. I did not appear in front of anyone. Then she came becoming very strict. Just like an investigation officer who comes to know about the truth, first that policeman asks politely, and then he will stand with a baton that, tell the truth. You lied to me, I have inquired from him and he is saying this. Then she said, God had made an ether announcement that you did not see God. Then Brahmaji started smiling that, mother, I had vowed and left that if I did not see my father, then I will never see you. I did not see the father. So just to come back, all three of us lied. Then Durga cursed all three of them. She cursed Brahmaji that no one in the world will worship you. Your descendants will be tricksters, frauds and liars just like you. They will have no knowledge about the truth, yet they will be treated as scholars. So who are Brahmaji's descendants? These saints and sages who had no knowledge about the Vedas and were on the position of great sages. Now I will show you, those who are listening for the first time, do not get scared. I will show you in full detail as to what kind of knowledge of Vedas these sages from Satyug had. They did not have any knowledge of the Vedas. Now, Brahmaji got tense that I am cursed, that no one will worship me. He became unconscious. Those girls gave him a great shock. Then Durga told Vishnu, son, you also go and find your father. Else later during the process of creation you may begin meditating, jeopardizing the process of creation. Vishnuji set out to find his father. He reached the world of Sheshnag. Now, pious souls, every creature has set up his jurisdiction, his boundary. Bulls have made theirs. If another bull enters, then they will die fighting. Dogs have allocated their boundaries. Similarly, when Vishnuji entered Sheshnag's world, when Vishnuji entered there, Sheshnag thought, how is he entering in your jurisdiction so fearlessly? He doesn't fear anyone, that I am the king here. Now the moment Vishnuji came closer, that Sheshnag spread out all his 1000 heads and sprayed a fountain of poison from those 1000 heads. Just like it gets foggy, similarly, all around Vishnu it became fog, like because of the poison, and on Vishnuji's entire body there was a paint, black. Body had become black due to that poison. Now Vishnuji thought, what has the snake done? I did not say anything to him. Is this how he misbehaves with a guest? I did not even say anything to him, did not harm him. I was on a search mission and he has such a bad mindset. Now Vishnuji thought, I will kill this serpent, this worm. The moment Vishnuji took a step ahead to kill Sheshnag, this Brahm, Ksharpurush, their father, made an ether announcement. Vishnu, if you start killing each other, then how this creation will go on? You go back and I will never come in front of anyone. I will not meet anyone. No one can attain me, and go and tell the truth to your mother that you did not see me. If you lie, you too will have to same the same consequence as Brahma. And the way this Sheshnag has misbehaved with you, you will take its revenge, its tit for tat. In Dwapar Yuga, when you will go in the form of Sri Krishna, then you can take revenge. For now, you do not say anything to him. When Vishnuji heard the ether announcement, he believed it to be from God and returned to his own mother. Durga asked, son, did you see your father? Vishnuji replied, no, mother, I did not see him. Then she asked what had happened to him, to which he replied, I went to Sheshnag's world, he did this to me. And in the ether announcement it was mentioned that do not kill him now when you will go to Dwapar Yuga as Sri Krishna. Then I will help you in getting revenge. Now Durga ji hugged Vishnuji and said, son, you will be given the department of nurturing and that you will be worshipped in the world. You are a truthful person. Now Durga went to her third son Shivji and said that your two brothers did not get to see God and they have tried enough. Now you also try and find your father. Then sometime later, when the process of creation begins and you start meditating, go now and find. Lord Shivaji, Shankar took sensible decision. He said, mother, when my two elder brothers could not find father, Brahma did penance for 4 eras. Vishnuji simply wandered here and there to find him. Then I will not even give it a try, but give me one blessing. Shivji said to Durga, Tamogun Shivji said, please give me a blessing, mother, that I should never die, that I become immortal. Now Durga said, Sri Devi said that, son, this is not possible here. The one who is born is bound to die. This is beyond my line of authority, but I can tell you a way which will increase your longevity. Lord Shivji said, Mother, at least do this mercy. So Durga said that to increase your lifespan, there is a method. By doing pranayam, make your breath of a micro size, sit at one place, and by limiting the number of micro breaths, your age will increase because age is dependent on breaths. So Lord Shiva accepted this, that as you command. You see that generally Lord Shiv is meditating and his age is also the longest of all. One Vishnu will die after 7 Brahmas die, one Shiva will die after 7 Vishnus die. Tamogun Shiv has such a long life. Now what is the age of Brahmaji? Brahmaji is 1 day. Rajogun Brahma's 1 day is equivalent to 1000 Chaturgunas, and the night is also of the same duration. How many years does one Chaturyug of human comprise of? One Chaturyug has 4.32 million years. In this manner, Brahmaji's 1 day comprise of 1000 Chaturyugas. Night is also of same duration. A month comprises of 30 days. 1 year comprises of 12 months. Brahmaji's age is 100 years. Satgun Vishnuji's age is 7 times more than him, and Tamgun Shivji's age is 7 times more than Vishnuji's. Such a long age it is. Then Durga ji wanted to get all these 3 sons married. That Kal Brahm Sharpurush made an ether announcement. Durga, send these 3 children for churning the cosmic ocean again, and there, to get them married, you make 3 other forms of yourself and come out in form of 3 girls. Now Sri Devi made 3 forms secretly and hid them in the cosmic ocean. On the other hand, she told all the 3 sons to go and churn the cosmic ocean. On the other side, this devil made all arrangements. When they went and churned the cosmic ocean for the second time, 3 girls came out. Now mother said that, remember, who comes out first? The one who comes out second, and then the one who comes out third. So all the 3 maid arranged them in an order and brought them to mother. Durga asked which one came out first. They replied, this one. She was named Savitri and told Brahma that she will be your wife. The second was told she will be called Lakshmi, and she was married to Vishnuji. The third one was told your name will be Uma, and she will be married to Shivji. Now from here, in this one universe, Kal's creation began. This Kshar Purusha's family started. From here, demigods and demons were born, and pious souls, the churning of cosmic ocean. We hear about that 14 precious stones had come out. Lord Shiva had consumed the poison. These happened after a very long time. So earlier in this way, the churning of ocean had taken place. It is not mentioned in these Vedas and Puranas. It is mentioned in Sukshma Ved, the 5th Ved. So pious souls, this is that creation of nature which is mentioned in the 5th Ved in Sukshma Ved. Now we did not know about the 5th Ved. Adi Shankaracharya has mentioned about that 5th Ved, about Sukshma Ved, in a book written by him, and he has mentioned about it in the book he wrote. We will show you later. Now God Kabir Dev Ji descended in the form of a human baby 600 years ago in 1398 AD. He appeared in the form of an infant on a lotus flower in a pond named Lehertara in suburbs of Varanasi, Kashi city, and he comes to deliver this 5th Veda through his mouth, and he was carried by a childless weaver couple. God performing the spectacle of growing up in a weaver's home, he showed the same work to the public. Because God performs these kinds of spectacles, it is written like this in Vedas that He descends in every era and like human beings, He lives one life like human beings. He, by performing this miracle, showcases His sustenance. In Rig Ved Mandal 1, Sukt 31, verse number 17, so God spoke that knowledge from His mouth 600 years ago. In Gita Ji chapter 4, verse number 32, about which is said that the knowledge of religious offerings or rituals, the detailed knowledge and true knowledge, Brahmane Mukhe. Oh, Brahmane means Sachidanand Ghan Brahm. Mukhe means from his own mouth. The knowledge that come out of his mouth is given in a fairly detailed manner. This is true spiritual knowledge. All your karmic deeds will come to an end after listening to that. It means futile activities will cease. You will not undertake wrong ways of obeisance. God Kabir Dev Ji used to tell that these fake gurus and preachers at that time that you are misguiding the people. You claim that Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh do not have parents. God used to say that they have parents, they take birth and die, they die and they take birth. They are not immortals. They are not complete God. So God endured a lot of resistance for this. Those fake preachers and fake religious gurus spread a lot of misconceptions about God Kabir Dev Ji, that he is a liar, he is illiterate, he did not read Vedas, Gita and the Puranas because he does not know Sanskrit. He is a literate person. What does he know about Veda, Gita and the Puranas? He is lying and do not listen to him. At that time, people got cheated because our preachers, gurus and sages and the Brahman rishis, they all knew Sanskrit language. All the holy scriptures are scripted in Sanskrit language only, and God Kabir Dev Ji does not know Sanskrit as he did not study under a Brahmin. So Kabir Ji must be the one lying. Our preachers, these gurus are speaking the truth. And so we did not accept the spiritual knowledge of that God. And we are suffering till date. We are worshipping, but it is against the scriptures. The spiritual knowledge we have is not God's spiritual knowledge. 600 years ago, what did God say in his Sachidanand Ghan Brahm speech? What did he tell? Like in Rig Ved, Mandal number 9, Sukt number 86, verse 26 and 27. Rig Ved Mandal number 9, Sukt number 82, verses 1 to 3. Rig Ved Mandal number 9, Sukt 20, verse 1. Rig Ved Mandal number 9, Sukt 96, verse 16 to 21. It is written that God descends from Satlok. In Rig Ved Mandal number 9, Sukt 1, verse 8 and 9, it specifies that he takes the form of an infant, and when he descends in the form of an infant, then the spectacle of his fostering is done by maiden cows, and he meets his lovely souls to impart the true knowledge, spiritual knowledge to them. He meets great souls, kind souls. He fills them completely with true spiritual knowledge. On the same grounds based on the spectacles that God usually does, he met respected Dharamdas Ji as well. Amongst good souls, he met which good souls? He met respected Garamdas Sahib Ji. He met respected Mulukdas Sahib Ji. He met respected Dadu Sahib Ji. He met respected Nanak Sahib Ji. He met respected Garibdas Sahib Ji. Village Churani, district Jhajjar from Haryana. He met respected Ghisa Sahib Ji, village Khekda, district Meerut from Uttar Pradesh. So it is written in the qualities of God that he does like this. Vedas also prove it. On the same grounds, God met Dharamdas Sahib Ji, who was a resistant of Bandhavgarh. He had gone to Mathura in search of God. There God told you that you will not find God in these pilgrimages. You will attain God through the method mentioned in your holy books. And Dharamdas Ji, you are saying that God used to take a walk here, Sri Krishna Ji, but now here he is not. You should have come here when he used to walk here. Now, since he is not here, in search of what you come? It is written in your holy books. Try to find out that God has written there. धर्मदास ये जग बौराना, कोई न जाने पद निर्वाणा। यही कारण मैं कथा पसारा, जग से कहिए वो राम न्यारा. God Kabir Dev Ji had narrated this creation of nature to Dharamdas Ji, to respected Dharamdas Ji, the most highly worshipable God Kabir Dev Ji. The story which this servant just told you, he told this story to respected Dharamdas Sahib Ji. This servant is narrating from there. Now this is in the voice of Sachidanand Ghan Brahm. It is scripted in Kabir Sagar only. It is written in it. I am reading it to you. So it is called Kabir Vani, Sachidanand Ghan Brahm's Vani, about which it is said in Gita chapter 4, verse number 32 that this is the speech of Sachidanand Ghan Brahm from his own mouth. It is written in Kabir Vani. धर्मदास ये जग बौराना, कोई न जाने पद निर्वाणा. यही कारण मैं कथा पसारा, जग से कहियो वो राम न्यारा. यही ज्ञान जग जीव सुनाओ, सब जीवों का भरम नशाओ. अब मैं तुमसे कहूँ चिताई, त्रिदेवन की उत्पत्ति भाई. God Kabir Ji says that I will tell you about the birth of three lords. What is the most highly worshipable God Kabir Ji is saying that now I will tell you about the birth of your three gods, pious souls. 600 years ago, God had written this spiritual knowledge in his Sachidanand Ghan Brahm Vani. What he spoke was written. And this will be shown to you in Puranas and Vedas and Gita also. You will be astounded that, oh my God, really, how we have been fooled by these fake preachers, gurus, these spiritual teachers, did not even familiarize us with our own spiritual syllabus. Our holy books are our syllabus. Any wisdom which is given against them is against the scriptures. अब मैं तुमसे कहूँ चिताई, त्रिदेवन की उत्पत्ति भाई. कुछ संक्षेप कहूँ गहराई, सब संशय तुम्हारे मिट जाई. He says that in some time, I will narrate this in detail and your doubts will be put to rest. ज्ञानी सुने तो हृदय लगाई, मूर्ख सुने तो गम ना पाई. All the wise men who will listen to this knowledge will heartily accept it as true, and the evidence is in our holy books, Puranas, Vedas and Gita Ji. The wise people will say this is the real thing, and a fool will not accept it. That is, he will not understand it. He is a stupid man. Even after looking at the evidence, if one does not agree, then he is a stupid man. ज्ञानी सुने सो हृदय लगाई, मूर्ख सुने तो गम ना पाई. Now what I am going to tell you, wise will understand about it. What? माँ अष्टंगी पिता निरंजन, ये जम दारुण वंशन अंजन. Brahma, Sri Brahma Ji, Sri Vishnu Ji, Sri Shiv Ji's mother is Ashtangi, this Durga, and their father is Jyot Niranjan Kshar Purush, Shar Brahm, this Kal. माँ अष्टंगी पिता निरंजन, ये जम दारुण वंशन अंजन. पहले की निरंजन राई, पीछे से माया उपजाई. It is said that this Jyoti Niranjan was born out of an egg. God created him, and then Durga was created by God, by Paramakshar Brahm, by Satpurush Kabir Dev Sahib Ji. Now what next is said? पहले की निरंजन राई, पीछे से माया उपजाई. Durga is also called Maya. Maya रूप देख अति शोभा, देव निरंजन tan man lobha. After seeing the beauty of Durga, his lust was influenced by it and it grew stronger. कामदेव धर्म राई सताए, देवी को तुरंत धर खाए. What is told? This Kal had developed lust and Durga entered his mouth. He had indecently spread out his arms to embrace, and he had opened his mouth to kiss her. And just like a fool, and then Durga went into his stomach through his mouth. पेट से देवी करी पुकारा, हे साहेब मोहे करो उभारा। टेर सुनी सतगुरु ता आए, अष्टंगी को बंद छुड़ाए। God says, Dharamdas ji, when I went to Durga, when she was in his stomach, I brought her out. सतलोक में कीन्हा दुराचारी, काल निरंजन दिना निकारी। माया समेत दिया भगाई, 16 शंख कोस दूरी पर आई। अष्टंगी और काल अब दोई, मंद कर्म से गए भिगोई। धर्मराय को हिकमत कीन्हा, नख रेखा से भग कर लीन्हा। This Kal is also called Dharamrai. He had vowed in front of God. God told him that you will not trouble these souls, and he said, no, I will give one fruits in accordance to what one does. I will ensure that justice prevails. That is why he's called Dharamraj. But though he's called Dharamraj, he just does injustice. Dharamraj means a judge. Even though he's called Dharamraj, he just does injustice. So God says, Niranjan dhan tera darbar, jahan tanik na nyay vichar. Now what does he say? Dharamrai ko hikmat ki na, nakh rekha se bhag kar leena. It is said that he gave Durga reproductive organs through his powers. Dharamrai kare bhog vilasa, Maya ko rahi tab asa. Durga became pregnant. 3 पुत्र अष्टंगी जाए, ब्रह्मा विष्णु शिव नाम धराए. Oy hoy, oh my God. God himself came 600 years ago and gave this knowledge about the creation he created, and this will be proved right in front of you from our Puranas. You will be amazed after seeing this. 3 putra ashtangi jaye, Brahma Vishnu Shiv naam dharaye. 3 sons were born from Durga, and they were named Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. 3 देव विस्तार चलावे, इनमें ये जग धोखा खावे. All these 3 lords are managing this Kal's universe, and this world is getting duped by treating them as the supreme God. 3 लोग अपने सुत दीना, सुन निरंजन वासा लीना. After handing over these 3 worlds, earth, heaven and Netherlands, he goes and lives secretly in the topmost zone of his universe. In Gita Ji chapter number 7 verses 24-25, he himself says, by entering in Sri Krishna, he says, this foolish society believes me, who is imperceptible, avyaktim apanam manyate. They believe I have come in human body, that I am Sri Krishna. I am not Krishna. And he says that I never appear in front of anyone, and this is my pathetic rule. And now that God, that Father, who does not even come in front of his sons, he remains hidden from them as well, then he has some flaw, and that rule of his is not good. That is why it is written as pathetic, firm rule here. This is my firm rule, eternal rule. He says I stay hidden with the help of my mystic powers. It stands proof that he lives somewhere. In form, he is undetectable. Avyakt does not mean formless. Like for instance, when cloud cover the sun, we are unable to see it, but still we feel its light to some extent, but we cannot see it. It is on the other side of the clouds. It is imperceptible. It is in form there. When it is seen, the moment those clouds go away, it is in the form. That till the time God can be seen, it is in form. When he cannot be seen, he is formless. Is this the definition of God? He is very much in form, but we cannot see him. It is a different story. The one who is invisible can be called imperceptible, but if we are not able to see him, then it is a different thing. But Supreme God is in form. The definition of formless and in form are different. Nirakar means the one who is never visible, which does not have a form, and embodied means in a bodily form, he has a form. It is called having a form. Those ignorant people who did not have the knowledge have changed the definition of God based on their ignorant views. Those creatures are devoid of spiritual knowledge. He himself admits that I remain hidden and I do not come in front of anyone. This is in told God's word, Sachidanand Ghan Brahm speech in Kabir Vani, that this Jyoti Niranjan Sun Thekana lives in the topmost zone in the 21st universe, and Brahma, Vishnu and Shiv could not get to know about him. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh don't know where he is, who he is, how he looks. 3 lok apne sut deena, sun niranjan vasa leena. तीन देव जो उसको ध्यावे, निरंजन का वो पार न पावे. These lords meditate and keep trying because this soul cannot live without God. Sometimes they still try to do penance for a few years, but they fail to know about Him, and initially they all have tried to attain God, but they failed. Therefore, when Durga told them that He is formless, they accepted it that He is formless, and they tried but did not attain Him. And so everyone changed his definition according to their perception that God is formless. Because He's not visible to them, their way of worship is not going to help them see God. The methods mentioned in Vedas, chanting the Om mantra, will never lead to attainment of God. Because in Gita Ji chapter 11 verses 47-48, this Kal is already delivering the knowledge of Gita by entering Sri Krishna, and he says, Arjun, this is my original form, and he showed his cosmic form, and my sight, my attainment is this form of mine, and I never appear in front of anyone in this form. He has vowed for this. He says that, Arjun, no one prior to you has seen it, and no one after you will be able to see this humongous cosmic form of mine. Now, if Sri Krishna was delivering the knowledge of Gita, he would not have said that this cosmic room is my original form. This is my Kal form. No one has ever seen it prior to you, because Sri Krishna Ji had already shown his cosmic form in the court of Kauravas. So Sri Krishna would not have said these, which is said in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 11, verse 47. In 48, it says that my attainment, getting a view of this cosmic form of mine, means attainment of God, attainment of Supreme, this Brahm's form, this is Kal. He says, I cannot be attained by any method mentioned in Veda, by chanting or penance, nor by any action. It stands proof that in Gita chapter number 8 verse 13 it is written, Om iti ek aksharam brahm vyaharan mam anusamran. There is only one mantra for me, Brahm, Om, and while chanting it, ye prayati tajam deham, one who departs from body while chanting it, he shall attain all benefits from me, attains the eternal goal. He will attain the goal that Om Mantra can provide. So he says, I cannot be attained by any methods mentioned in Vedas, by chanting penance, nor by any action in chapter 11, verse 47. So it stands proved that no one could get a sight of that Jyot Niranjan and called him formless. It is said, Hojat tha kiya, Ant mein kahan bechun. After getting tired from searching for him, declared God as formless, whereas he is in form. Vedas prove it, Puran prove he is in form, Quran prove it, Bible proves it, and ask any devotee from any religion, he will say that God is formless. Now, in the time ahead, this servant will give you complete detail in every scripture. Let me give evidences from our holy scriptures about the creation of nature told by this God, then only you will believe. Hail the true Guru.